Hey everybody, it is Mr. George, and this video looks at place strategy. So place is one of the 4 P's of marketing when we're creating a marketing plan focusing on a target market. So place strategy. So that means all the decisions and choices that are made looking at how we get a product from where it's being made to where it's being ultimately consumed. Okay, so by looking at this graphic here, place looks at the actual distribution strategy of getting a product or service delivered in the actual hands of a customer. So as far as place strategy, it's often referred to as distribution strategy, so that we're able to coordinate products and customers so they're able to come together. So channel of distribution is the path that a product takes from producer or manufacturer to the final user. Okay, whereas I have customer here. Customer, consumer could be the same person, or it could be a different entity depending upon if someone's buying it for someone else. Consumer typically refers to the person that's actually consuming the product, where it's not getting passed along. So each one of these paths is referred to as a channel. Okay, and then the channel members are those involved in the actual path. So just to give you like an easy graphic here, looking at channel of distribution. If you looked at a product, say a Nikon camera. So Nikon has choices as far as how is it going to get its product from where it's being made, where it's being manufactured, we refer to that as the producer, to the ultimate consumer, to the far right, which would be you. So as far as choices, we're looking at either direct or indirect, and some companies do both. So if you look at the top one, if Nikon sold the camera directly to you, that would be direct. Easiest example I can think of is a roadside stand for a farm. Whereas a farmer grows corn, farmer sells corn right by the road at the farm, and then the consumer actually buys it directly. Okay, so there are advantages, disadvantages of selling direct and selling indirect. So as far as if we start to add different channel members or intermediaries, for example, Nikon could choose to sell to a camera shop, and then that camera shop now is responsible for selling those cameras to you or to other consumers. So an advantage is if Nikon chose this second example here, it really, its customer is Ritz Camera Shop, okay, not you. Because if you bought it from the camera shop and it broke, you would go back to Ritz Camera. You wouldn't contact Nikon. Okay, so Nikon can have less points of contact by being able to just deal directly with the camera shops. Now, they're not going to make as much money because as a product, as we add channel members, the cost is going to increase because Ritz Camera Shop is going to sell it for more than what it bought it for from Nikon. So if you sold direct, you could make more money per unit, but I guess you have to ask yourself the headache factor. Are you going to have to deal with each individual that buys it? As well as what if you're making it in, say, Japan and you're selling it all around the world, the cost to be able to distribute these products. So third example is Nikon could sell them to an independent distributor who then has the relationships with different retailers, for example, Ritz Camera Shop, and then they sell it to consumers. And you could also just swap out the retailer for like a BJ's that really is a wholesaler, but serves as a retailer, and then they're able to pass on, the product to its members. Okay, like for example, a BJ's, they charge people to be a member. You have to pay whatever the membership fee is per year to become a member, and then through that they're able to pass on cost savings through products because they're buying in bulk. They're buying many more of those products than, say, one small retailer somewhere. Okay, so this is a great example of 4 different ways that a product can be sold, and as we add different channel members to each of these examples, the prices are going to change. And this is why, if you look at, say, whether it's a Nikon camera or Nike sneakers, you might find the same exact product listed through different places for different prices. And that's because the path that product has taken is different. Okay, it's different. And as companies buy the product and then resell it, the prices are being reflected. The change in prices is being reflected as we add new channel members to that. Okay. So another example, if we're looking at, say, like Ritz crackers, is as far as the price of the crackers changes as it moves through each channel. So Nabisco, they make it, they produce the crackers, in their manufacturing facilities. They create the packaging, they package them, they transport them, and then they ship them to independent retailers. Okay, so whether they're convenience stores, supermarkets, grocery stores, individuals that sell them through like vending machines. So these are the intermediaries here. And then we have the consumers that are actually buying them. And they're sold in a variety of different, not just different formats and different sizes and different kinds, but they're sold, through hotels, through airlines, restaurants, lots of places that offer snacks as options. Okay. So as we kind of close out here, there already referenced that typical model of producer to wholesaler to retailer to final user. Just some terms that come up. Intermediaries is anyone that's kind of like in the middle. Okay. When we talk about an agent, here's a good example where most people have heard of a real estate agent. So a real estate agent sells real estate. They don't buy the real estate from a customer and then resell it. They're brokering. They're in the middle. So they're coordinating buyers and sellers, acting as intermediaries, and then they're collecting some type of either fee or some type of percentage based on commission, based on sales price. And there are lots of different brokers in the world, not just real estate, food brokers, real estate brokers, marine brokers, as far as people that just sell boats for other people. Okay? And they collect their fee. So we've already referenced the different types as far as direct or indirect. And some companies do both. For example, you can buy an iPhone directly from Apple, or you can buy an iPhone from a retailer, such as a Best Buy or a Walmart, and the price is going to be different. The experience is going to be different. Okay, so again, as you make different choices, you need to kind of figure out what works for you as far as convenience. This looks at examples of 2 different markets. So when we say consumer market, it's really used for personal use, and when we say industrial market, we're talking about for business use. So, for example, there are certain products that by and large are being sold to companies. It might be, for example, large industrial kitchens that are used for restaurants that most people would not use in their own house because it kind of like wouldn't make a lot of sense, as well as the cost would be expensive. Now, some companies sell both. For example, if you're a company that makes paper for printers, you could sell paper to individuals that they buy, those reams of paper, boxes of paper that they use at home, but you can also sell that paper to businesses that print. You could sell that paper to schools and to hospitals. So the industrial, so you could do one or the other or both. You'll find the industrial markets are much more profitable, only because you're selling so much more of it on such a consistent basis. It's going to end up providing a larger percentage of your income. And that's up to you to figure out what's the mix between your consumer and industrial customers. So here are some other examples of distribution planning when you're considering the distribution of your product or service, as like, what's the game plan? Is it to be exclusive? Is it to only have certain products available in certain areas? Automobile companies do that, where they'll limit the number of car dealerships in certain geographical areas to protect them from their competitors. If you're going to buy a Ford dealership, you wouldn't want somebody else to be able to buy a Ford dealership like right down the street from you. Okay, and this is what also happens with like franchises. It could be something that's like an integrated distribution, which means the same company makes it and distributes it and sells it directly. For example, like a clothing company like Gap. Again, selected distribution looks more towards trying to sell them in certain areas based on target market, specifically demographics. And then you have companies like like Coca-Cola that goes for like full saturation, where you're able to get a Coca-Cola product in 10 different places within a mile. As well as you must look at specifically the online way of distributing products to customers. Okay, through the use of, are you going to deliver it yourself, or are you going to use some type of like company that's going to deliver your products for you? And that really connects with the actual physical distribution. Okay. So as far as place strategy, you need to figure out, in today's business environment, a company must deliver its products to customers around not just their community, not just their region, not just their state, not just their country, but potentially throughout the whole world in the most efficient and effective way, so that they are able to meet their goals. Now, also within place strategy, we're really looking at the location, availability, able to get their products to their customers, where it's made, control over their products as far as like quality control, which really ties into like the costs of places. For example, you could buy a baseball hat made in the United States, but it's going to cost a lot more than if you bought a baseball hat, from China or another country, because of the cost of labor. It's less expensive to ship it from around the world than it is to make it around the corner. So again, labor cost is one factor as far as like making products locally. Okay, so in closing, as far as place strategy, there are many decisions and choices that need to be made. Making the correct place decisions will have a major impact on the successful operation of a business. And this is something that your place strategy will evolve over time as environment changes, as situations change, as your target market changes. You may need to come up with like different ways of being able to like deliver and distribute your products and services to your target market. Thanks for watching.